How's everybody doing? Hi, Amy.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you? How is our week going? It's Tuesday already.
Yes, it is. It's going well.
Good deal. Um, our team's not going to be here today. We don't have Chelsea or Alexia or anybody. They're in a really big and important meeting with Bradley. So I'm praying over them. Super excited for them. So they left it with me in my probably capable hands. Um,
Very capable.
um, I want to hear about Chelsea always asks wins. How's our do we have wins this week to talk about? Big things happening?
Maybe I'm starting to do like free Zoom calls.
That's
Yeah, so I'm gonna just start like getting people interested and like seeing what it is that I'm gonna be offering. So hopefully people show up. I have one person that was interested, which is great, and I'm taking every little bit that I can. So I'll
that's
take that.
exciting.
Yeah.
Who else? What else do we have going on this week? Hi, Chris. We're talking about our
Okay,
win this week.
okay, you guys, for some reason, sorry, this is Jody. I'm going to be driving to a doctor's appointment, but we're meeting with you guys tomorrow. We're very excited about that.
I'm excited.
That feels like a big win.
I think we're gonna run the blender. Are we blending?
Downstairs.
Okay. They're taking the blender downstairs for me. They're awesome. Okay, hi Michelle. We're talking about our wins this week.
Do I have?
Ooh.
Oh, go ahead, Michelle.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. I don't want y'all to see me because I look really bad. I'm trying to go to the bank.
Oh, stop.
I have a win. I have a win. I have a win. I have a win. Okay, so I actually semi got that website going. I was having problems with the Secretary of State because of the county that I live in and the uh a whole bunch of stuff. And I was really depressed over this because it's been going on for months. I couldn't find nobody to help me. So then somebody said, and it was on this whatever we do here, the love here. I'm gonna say it like that.
Yes,
You
exactly.
all say, go to Bisbee or something like that. You say go there and let them do it. Guess what? I begged, borrowed, and pleaded for this money, and I gave it to Bizzo, and Bizzo got me squared away. And now, in a few minutes, I'm on my way to the bank, and I'm gonna pay it, get my bank account set up. I got my EIN number, I got the articles of incorporation, all that stuff, and I'm so excited. And if I'm not here, all y'all gonna do is see the screen because I'm driving. But I love y'all.
Yeah.
Thank you, and thank you.
I'm so Michelle, that's amazing. That makes me so happy. I'm
Oh
so
no, it makes me happy. But I still got one more issue, and I know once I get this solved, y'all will figure it out for me. Thank you.
oh yeah, that's so exciting. Um,
But
awesome. I'm so excited. Carissa, did you have a win?
He did. So Saturday, well, Friday and Saturday was that ladies conference that I was supposed to speak at. And so Saturday I spoke two different times, same topic, but two different sessions. And I also sang and played the piano, which I haven't done in years. I used to sing and play all the time. I took piano lessons for years and years and years. And that's how my husband and I met. And like we've made a CD, but we haven't done it in years because like you just
What?
kids. Yeah. I mean, nothing, nobody knows about it. It's just something that we did.
No, they should know about this. You need to do. Is there a link? Drop us a link. I need this.
No, there's not a link. It was just something that we did. And so but that was really important in our lives when we met, when we were like 18, 19, 20. And so you get busy and you have kids. And then there's like, I don't know. Anyway, this weekend, I was so nervous about singing. And I just like ask the Lord to quiet my heart so I could sit there at the piano and just worship Him and let that overflow. And I'm in this season of really letting go of perfection and performance, like having to earn that based on performance, you know, and that's not what everything that I'm doing isn't supposed to be about performance. It's supposed to be on an altar for the Lord. And so it was a beautiful conference. I forgot to record it. But it was so good and I got such great feedback. It was a huge win. My cup is just like so full. I haven't been on social media. I've just been like drinking in the weekend. It was really, really, really good. So I'm very excited.
I'm so glad. That makes my heart so happy. That's so wonderful. It's okay you didn't record it. You should, next time record it.
I know, I know.
All right. This is amazing. I'm loving this. Who else? Anybody else have any big wins this week? We are looking at traveling to North Carolina in just a few weeks, and we're gonna take the whole family back. I don't know if you guys saw, we had last month or the month before that. I don't know, I'm losing track now. We had gone out to Black Mountain in North Carolina, where the disaster relief is happening after all the hurricane damage and flooding. So we actually got connected with a local college who is all in on helping the disaster relief. And they actually have a leadership program. And so we kind of got integrated with them and the work they're doing. And my oldest is going to go to summer camp with them. And it's this big leadership opportunity. It's like a for real one where they like, he'll have like first aid training and like he'll come back with a bunch of certifications and really cool stuff. So he's really excited about that. And he's never been away for 2 weeks before. So we'll see. We'll see how my mommy heart does on that one. I'm just so excited for him. I told him, I was like, we could just hang out in town and just stay in North Carolina for 2 weeks and he'll probably be fine. We don't have to do that. But and then after that, I think I might actually go hang out with Chelsea and Samia and Alexia in Florida for a conference at the end of June. And this will be the first time. I don't know if you guys know this. I've never met Chelsea in person before. Can you believe that? We're just running an empire over here virtually, and our she's just so dynamic, you know what I mean? When you just know with her, like you make a connection. So anyway, that will be so incredible to be in person together. So all that's happening, hopefully, Lord willing, this month. So all right, you guys have social media questions, brand work questions, drop them in the chat. I'll be trying to keep up with those. And does anybody else have any wins first before we move on? No? Good. Okay. All right, be looking out for the wins. Be on the lookout for good things to share about next time. So I want to hear everything you guys have going on. I'm so proud of you guys and you're working so hard. We have to celebrate all the good and big things that you're doing. So I am talking about, oh, did you guys notice that ChatGPT is down today? I noticed it because I was pulling up notes for.
I was just in there.
Yeah,
Well, a
my
little bit
heart
more.
did.
I
Okay.
didn't
Respect
know
that.
that, but thank you, because I thought it was just me for a minute.
Super slow, and then for some people it's not working at all. So yeah.
Yeah.
I was wondering about Gemini because it's this other such a great resource anyway. So I don't know. I'll have to check them out. I'll give you guys feedback once I've tried them both. But yeah, I was trying to pull up notes for this call and it was like so slow, and I was like, what is happening? Do I have to like use my brain without ChatGPT? Hi Cynthia. So we're talking about brand work, and we have, let me see. I wanted to start by talking about sorry, I'm reading Chris's message already. I love when you guys ask questions. It really helps me with my like thought flow and making sure I hit all the points that I want. So make sure you ask the questions and we will circle around to them. I wanted to first talk about influencer tiers and see who of you considers yourself an influencer, first of all, because I know that is like a hurdle. A lot of people are just like, yeah, I do stuff online and I share things, but I wouldn't consider myself an influencer. And if so, are you aware of your tier, of the different social media tiers? And have you done the math on all of your, let me mute my computer. My phone's blowing up and it's loud. I don't know if you guys can hear it every time it dings. Okay, good. I don't know how to mute it. Oh, focus. Okay, so I just want to talk about the tiers. If you don't know them, there you can add all of your social media following up across all the different platforms you're on, or if you are following your advice and you're being hyper specific on one platform, then that's the one you want to focus on, and that's the one you would represent to a brand. You need to know what you're representing, which one you choose to represent, because if you come at it like, well, I could share it across all my platforms, but you haven't been focusing on other platforms, then it's kind of undermines the effort that you put into one platform, if that makes sense. So make that choice. When I present, since I didn't follow my own advice, our following is spread out across platforms, that's how I represent. It looks big, pretty numbers. We're just under 3 million at this point across all platforms. And our reach is, earlier this year, we crossed the 200 million in a month mark for one platform. So, that had been my monthly reach. And so a lot of those things you would think is amazing and wonderful, but if you've been here with us long enough, you know that does not mean that my audience converts, and it doesn't mean that brands pick me up for a converting audience. They instead pick me up for a brand awareness campaign. It's like, hey, I just want to tell people about my business, not necessarily I intend to make good and solid connections and sales through you. If that makes sense? So for you guys, depending on your reach, depending on your numbers, so we're going through the tiers, depending on where you are on the tier, you would represent yourself that way and just say, hey, this is my very loyal following. That's the words you want to use when you're talking about small numbers. And brands actually don't care if your numbers are small. So we have nano influencer is 1,000 to 10,000 followers on one platform, or if you're considering multiple, it would be across platforms. And
Will you say that again? Sorry to interrupt.
sure. No, you're fine. 1,000 to 10,000 followers is considered a nano influencer. The next tier up is micro influencer, and that'll be your 10K to 100K. And I have some numbers on prices, just to like get your bearings on it, that we'll talk about in a little bit. Mid-tier is going to be your 100K to 500K followers, broad reach, proven creator, strong conversion potential, but not necessarily. You kind of learn those things as you go. Macro influencer is 500 to 1 million, which is very high visibility. You're gonna serve as an authority in your space, whatever niche you're in. They're considered semi-celebrity at that point. So the next section is a mega influencer / celebrity, and that's anything over 1 million. And that's your massive reach. That's brand collaborations for brand awareness. This is when you have movies that add like product placement, right? That is part of that brand awareness. Like, we want to be known in the consumer market as the go-to brand for, I always give Tide as an example. Tide is everyone, if you think laundry soap, you might think Tide, right? So that is the point of a brand awareness campaign. So are you guys keeping up with your numbers? Do you have an idea of where you are on following count, where you fall in the tier levels, and does all that make sense? Good. Yes. Okay. So when nano, so Ooh, yummy. So when you are being a nano versus a micro mid-tier, none of those truly matter when you're talking about brand outreach, except that you want to be intentional about how you represent yourself. So if I mentioned before, if you're talking about, hey, I'm a nano influencer, I use such and such product, I would love to share it with my very loyal following. That way you're not saying like, hey, I promise to like blast your name to the masses. I don't have the masses. You also don't want to put yourself in a position where because of your small following, you have to post a ton about it to get it more views on it. Does that make sense? If you're going to make a brand collaboration arrangement, you want to know what you're signing up for and how much work you're going to put in on your own plate. So when you are talking about pricing, that's usually the next question everybody has is how do you price yourself? If I'm a nano influencer, what can I earn? What can I ask from a brand without sounding crazy? You are honestly more at risk at underpricing yourself and having a brand just kind of not take you necessarily seriously if your prices are too low. So just some starting pricing examples. A nano influencer, you might ask $50 to $150 per post, or that would be a very reasonable place to start with gifted posting. And it's also really important to remember that you need to be documenting all of the brand work that you do, the money that you earn, and the gifts that you receive, because you're really supposed to claim those gifts on your taxes as income. So I had too much coffee, so I'm trying to intentionally talk slow. If I'm talking too slow, let me know. If I'm losing you or if I'm boring you, just let me know. Okay,
You're
so
doing great, Amanda. You're doing great.
thanks. I know that I just get really like, so I'm like trying to be intentional. Okay, so nano, you're in the $50 to $150 range, or you can do gifted collaborations. Gifted collaborations are a really great place to start if you are wanting to build your portfolio. So your portfolio is going to be your scope of work that you have already done, that you can show, here's what I did, here's how I converted, here's what I learned. Good. So every brand that you work with, including Abundant Management or Abundant AI Academy, should go on your list of companies that I have worked with. If that is a gifted collaboration, if you are making posts tagging us in them, that is considered brand collaborations. And you should be documenting them so that you can, is it cold? Okay. So that when you're talking to a brand and you're representing yourself, you can say, hey, here's a list of companies that I have worked for, I have worked with, I've collaborated with, right? Okay, so nano 50 to 150, micro is 150 to 750 per reel or post. Brands will get you when they start kind of packaging things and saying like, oh, okay, so can we do a reel and some stories and a post about this, that, or the other? You need to know how much work that is for you and how much you're willing to do that for. If you're just starting out and you're wanting to learn it and you're willing to do it for whatever price they offer, by all means, I'm not going to shame you for taking a gifted collaboration or a low paying offer, so that you can get experience under your belt. But you need to know and be prepared to progress from there, because you will get to the point where you're doing brand work and you'll get really like tedious brands who come back and they want you to change things and they want you to redo it 4 different ways and they want you to change the wording on the and that all those things are fine. And as you progress in your brand work, you want to be professional in that manner. But they have to be paying for that. And if they aren't paying for your time, because all of those things take your time and they take your platform, they take your engagement, and they take your editing skills that you've practiced, and your verbiage that you have you've primed your audience for your presentations. That's all things that you have put into what should be in your pricing. So if you find that they're asking for you to do a ton of things, your price has got to go up. And I have found that my lesser paying brand collaborations were oftentimes more tedious. When a brand is willing to pay more, they, yes, Leanne is saying that some brands will take advantage of gifting and you have to be careful. Yes, and again, if it's something you're doing branded gifted collaborations weekly or something like that, or getting into some bigger ones where they're like sending you a mattress or like a car or something crazy. Or we had one talk about like the outside furniture, you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, the value of those is quite high, which is at some point you need to just go, okay, I need the money because I'm going to be paying taxes on this when I didn't get the cash in hand, right? So companies have an insane amount of money for marketing. It's an insane, it really, it always impresses me. And every time we've thrown out a number that I felt like was probably an insane amount to ask a brand for, it has always been met with like, yeah, that's about what I expected or something like that. And they never take my top dollar, which is fine because you know you should expect that they're gonna negotiate down. But I just say that to say that I've not had them just blatantly be like, you're insane. What are you talking about? Like, you know what I mean? So that should let you know that as you're working up in brand work, your numbers should be going up and your experience is going up and your value should match that. And if your value doesn't match that, a brand's gonna know that you're not worth that higher dollar. If that makes sense. Okay, so micro 150 to 750 per reel or post. Mid-tier is about 750. You can go up to 3,000 per campaign in that area, depending on your experience levels. If you have a lot of experience and a high conversion rate, you can even go higher than that. Macro, you're in the range of 3,000 to 10,000. And when I started brand work, I didn't start till I was in the macro range. And those numbers were insane to me. And I was scared to ask anybody for those numbers. But then we did. And then brands started paying those numbers. And then you're just like, oh, okay, no, this is right. This is normal. And it's really hard because influencers we don't discuss our prices with each other. That's not really a conversation we have. That's why I want to be so transparent about it, because when I was getting started, I was just scared and I just didn't even know what to charge, who to talk to, who to ask. We had a experience that I wasn't sure if I was going to talk about this or not, but I'll touch on it really quickly because a lot of the things I learned were from trial and error. Can I give you this baby? With a brand manager, because I really was just like, hey, I'm super uncomfortable with this. Let's just pay someone else to do it, right? And that partnership did not end up working out, but I did learn a lot when talking to brands and negotiating during that time. And so that was my kind of first experience, because I didn't have a friend influencer who I could check with and just see, are these prices insane or are they too low? I actually don't have any idea. So a mega influencer is you're in the 5 figures at that point. When you're referring to numbers, are you talking about a single platform or across all platforms? Yes. So it depends on how you represent yourself. If you're marketing yourself as cross-platform, brand awareness, blast you across all the socials, then your numbers it takes more work. It's a little more tedious in collecting your numbers from all of your platforms, and you kind of need to pull an average, or you can say, hey, here's my main platform, and this is the one you can expect the most conversion from, and then we'll cross post to the others just to kind of also get the word out. So what would you say we do differently for when we're doing a cross-platform post versus price-wise versus a single platform? How much sorry, I'm putting my husband on the spot because he's does all my brand negotiating at this point. You can get back to me on that. So that's okay. That's what I was thinking. So he said normally we'll go up about another $2,000. Whatever our base price is on this platform, we'll bump it up a bit. Just no extra work, no extra anything except just cross posting. And many of my platforms are connected anyway, so it's just that like switch on to push it over here or over there. Except my Facebook. I don't know why I'm having trouble with that, but that's been a lifelong struggle. So when you're referring to numbers or you're talking about a single platform or cross platform, these are general numbers. And it's really just you start to fill it out, you start to hear those conversations and realizing like what you feel comfortable asking for, what you feel comfortable delivering. And if you are delivering posts like you said you would, and you're having good engagement on it, then everything that happens after that is really the brand's responsibility. They need to have good landing pages. They need to have a good link set up for you to track those numbers if they're interested in how many clicks that are coming through or something like that. Another thing you can ask for is a discount code for your audience. That's always there. You almost always have some kind of 10% or something like that they can offer, and that helps in tracking your personal conversion because they can see how many people, if they put in your code, they can see a lot more accurately how many people used your link or your code or made it to this brand because of you. Carissa, did you have a question? Wait, your mic's not on. Hold on, wait, your mic.
I said, sorry, he walked in the room and I had it raised, but my question is, you keep talking about choosing like which platform you want to focus on. And I thought we were supposed to be like posting from Instagram to Facebook and letting that kind of be. So I kind of get in the weeds there. I resonate better on Facebook. My following has always been better on Facebook, but I hear people talk about how Instagram is like the place to be. So I get just stuck there.
Yeah, no, I think I've ridden this roller coaster also. We were kind of just looking to push into monetization. So when I was figuring it out, I just pursued whichever platform had the most return. So if it had the best creator programs or it had the best like brands wanted specifically Instagram the most, then I would push into that, trying to build that following so that I had something to offer brands, if that makes sense. For everything that you guys are doing, I think it is so important. This is what I've said every time, to focus on one platform, and then you're welcome to share off of that. And if you resonate best with Facebook, and that's where you're seeing the best following, or you just love it the most, then by all means, you can focus on one platform, and you can focus on one platform entirely. You probably should. You're probably going to build a better, more loyal following in that way. Pamela has some really awesome content across all platforms and a pretty good following everywhere, and then a really good following a couple places. So I understand why she's asking, like, should it be different if you're cross posting? A lot of brands will ask me like for an Instagram post, and then I have 1 million followers on Facebook. So I'm, I don't even know if I don't think we're even at 500,000 followers on Instagram. And so when I'm bringing up that conversation, I'm oftentimes redirecting to the platform that I feel will get the most return on this specific brand. That's your responsibility to vet the brand and to know what your audience is going to, which audience is going to receive it, right? So in my experience, my Facebook is a lot more like an older generation, older women. Most of my platforms are women. All my platforms are women, primarily, like 75% or something. So, but Facebook's kind of an older generation. So we do health sharing with Samaritan Ministries, and that is just kind of makes a lot of sense for the health, and YouTube as well, for the healthcare community to kind of be older women, right? So just kind of knowing, yes, thank you. Just knowing your platform, knowing your audiences, and which ones would resonate best with the audience. Hi, maybe he sees me on the camera. Hi.
So you're saying to still share to both places, but when you're focusing, I don't know if I understand the difference. I know that's probably a dumb question, but I'm like, if you're still creating for both platforms, what are you talking about in really diving in and focusing on only one?
I think to me, if I mean focusing on one, I am prime. So we've talked about some of the things. I'll just go over them quickly here. We've talked about some of the things you can do when we're talking about virality, and we're talking about scaling your social media reach and posts. Leanne, I do see your hand. I'm sorry. Give me 1 second. Let me answer this question. And so we're talking about priming your audience before you post. So if I was gonna focus on Facebook, right, and I had a post that I felt like was gonna do really well and it was gonna resonate with my Facebook audience, I would go to Facebook, I would prime my Facebook by taking 5-10 minutes and just literally scrolling either through Reels or through my, what's it called, page, my feed, so I'm trying to say, and just interacting 5 words or more on everyone's posts, and that gets engagement going around my platform. And so people are, I'll also go back and reply to, like, I'll go through my own reels and just reply to one comment, a full response. Next reel, reply to a comment, just pick one reply, right? And that brings, in that moment, right at that time, it brings a ton of people to my page. And then I'll post what the content I'm trying to post. And then I will stay in that platform and reply to comments. I will like my own post, which is a little cringy, but whatever. And save it, and I will share it to my husband or to Chelsea or to whoever. You can share it to me if you want. But that initiates the algorithm of like, this is already doing things. It just got posted and it's already doing things. And then I will continue replying to comments on that post and other people's posts and reels during the next, like, whatever, 5 minutes or something like that. And I will not do that for every platform because I don't have the time. So that is what I mean by like hyper focusing on one platform. And that's going to be the one that sees my posts first. That's going to be the one that I'm remembering to get my stories up to or my links to. And if you go look at my content right now, you're not going to see that because I have not been doing a good job. We're building so much back here with abundant management that I've been doing a terrible job posting. So this is what I've done over the last 2 years when building my platform. I've only been doing this for like 2.5 years. Do you guys know that? So Amy, yeah. So if you get paid on Facebook and you're focusing on Instagram, you can share, you can focus on the one that is helping you the most. If it's helping your household, by all means. That's what I did when I was starting. I was focusing on, Facebook had a good program, but then they switched it up and they were like, you can't do music. And so they wouldn't monetize any of my videos that had music, which is why if you've seen my most viral videos that are just like cringy quiet with like no background music, that's why, because they kept saying $10 is $10, Amy. We'll take it. We're gonna put it into, I don't know, back into our business, right back in there. But yeah, so some of my most viral pieces of content are super cringy quiet because I couldn't do music on them. So anyway, so same thing on TikTok. I hit TikTok over there and finally hit the creator program, and then focused on that. And then all of those totally dead in the water. Instagram, Facebook, and Facebook totally dead for some reason in the middle of 2023, probably. And so I was like, well, we'll see what's up with YouTube. And then we got our play button. Just focused on it, this is the one, and we'll share over there, reply to comments, all that. So Leanne, you had a question. I don't want you to lose it.
Oh yeah, you're fine. So we have all the platforms, not YouTube, but so Facebook, I went viral when I was pregnant with my youngest, number 10, and that exploded our Facebook. but then I didn't really do much with it. And I have a hard time with Facebook, even with brands, because like you said, that's like the older generation, and not, I have a harder time bringing in brands to it, even though I've got over 100,000 followers. So I didn't know if you had any tips on specifically Facebook. I don't get paid from Instagram. We have like 8,000 there, but then TikTok, we have like 11,000. But I feel like I kind of messed myself up because I went viral on TikTok and had like 2 million views on a video, but I got a lot of hate and I kind of chickened out and deleted the videos. I wish I had not. I wish I'd privated them, but I chickened out and deleted them.
Repost them.
And because, you know, we were full-time RVers and I was just like scared. But I got on the wrong side of TikTok. But now I'm just like, I don't care. I will just stop reading the comments. It doesn't matter to me. But I guess Facebook is like where I want to focus because it's over 100,000, and I want to grow my TikTok too. But I want to go with the one that already has a huge following. I'm getting like 33,000 views a week there, so I just want to know what tips you might have for Facebook specifically.
Yes. They're the I'm pointing at her on my screen. I don't know if she's on this side. The Venturing Vipermans, I love their content, and they're another large family, and they just do really beautiful, wonderful stuff. Repost the videos, repost them. Even if you have them up and running again, repost them again. And we talk about reposting content all the time. I just recently reposted like one of our most viral video, or our most viral video from this year. I reposted it again, and I just talked about, here was my experience with posting this one that went mega viral. Here's some things, here's some fun facts about this or whatever. And the majority of the comments were seeing it for the first time, and it did millions of views as well. So yes, reuse your content, repost your content. Hate happens. I'm so sorry. I really am so sorry. I hate the
Yeah, I know it happens and I'm used to it now, but I just kind of chickened out back then. And I didn't tell my husband what was going on, and I was kind of like dealing with it, but I didn't want him to panic
yeah.
about all of the hate. And then he saw it and he's like, "How are you dealing with this?" And I was like, "The best way I know how."
Listen, and this isn't anything you guys need to be worried about. It's just the online space. But do you know the American Family Road Trip? Have you seen their content?
I think I've seen some of theirs. Yeah.
Our family traveling, they
Mhm.
daily life. They had a group of people literally target them and then CPS and everything else
Yeah.
like come after them, which of course had no bearing and it all fell through, of course. But it's just like people can just people too much. It's awful.
Yeah, my close friends, the Wild Thorn Bailey, she actually had a stalker for a period of time, and they knew like what campground she was at and everything. And I was like, "Oh, that's creepy," but she got it dealt with, and it was okay. And I've watched her over the past few years explode from nothing to how big she is, and I'm just like, I've got to quit. I went through the imposter syndrome and just like feeling stuck, and I'm ready to get past that now and do something with it.
Yeah, we just talked about imposter syndrome just a few weeks ago. That is one of the biggest hurdles we get in our own way. And it's, if I keep using the word like how you represent yourself, I keep using that word because if you represent yourself with your imposter syndrome first, like if it's you're like, I'm not great, but I'll try for you, like they're gonna be like, oh no, thanks. You know what I mean? So we muster our courage. We put together our information of what we do, who our audience is, and we lean into those numbers solid. And we say, hey, this is what if this isn't for you, if this isn't in the budget for you, that's okay. Keep me in mind. And then you follow up with them in a few weeks. Following up is another good point I wanted to remember to touch on because I don't think I put it in my notes. And it was that it's okay to annoy brands. A lot of them have bots set up to flag things anyway, or to just like respond quickly. So my best advice when it comes to doing brand outreach, I feel like the best conversion we've had was when we just cold DM'd brands. And when I say I mean literally my husband, because it wasn't me at all. He's sitting right here. He's like, I need all the credit. No, he goes for my account, just literally any brand that would be a good alignment with me or with my audience. I love to focus on companies who are in the Christian space that are doing things that we all experience, like health insurance or like social, not social media, like media is the word I'm looking for, but like kids TV shows, kids books, right? Those kinds of things, but all specifically Christian. And those are my favorite. I did a huge collaboration with Bark last year, and Bark, though they weren't specific to Christian, they were specific to protecting children in the online space. And those are all brands that God brought me because I don't even know who to reach out to. If you like ChatGPT, like, hey, give me some brands, it does not do a good job. It has a hard time understanding the connection between like who you are and what you do and what your niche is and what kind of companies are out there that would hire you and why. So you really kind of got to get creative in the sense of like, what are things, instead of asking like, what are brands that might work well with me, you might ask instead like, I don't know. I gotta find. I'll come up with a good prompt for you guys and send that over to you guys. Just the question needs to be like, what are some alternative companies? I don't want to use the word companies because I think we get caught up in that same thing in chat on that. But like other aspects of this niche that I'm in. So I'm in this niche, and I think Amy, we talked about like if you are in this niche that has to do with anything disabilities or something like that, then you can target clothing brands that do alternative clothing. What is it? What's the word for it?
Oh my God.
You know what I mean though? Like
Adaptable.
adaptable,
Like
that's the word.
adaptive. Yeah. I
Adaptable.
couldn't think either.
All the clothing lines. And if you want to target startup companies because they're hungry and they want to get the word out there, those are great. And then there is TikTok Shop. This is a whole nother thing. It probably deserves its own segment. I will touch on it really quickly because we hit gold member on TikTok Shop. I'm not a TikTok salesperson, but we promoted a couch, which was not so my TikTok, since I'm like, it's by the wayside. We share whatever. It's the one that gets all the like leftover. I'm not focusing on it. I just pass everything over there. Right. And so we didn't have a couch in our playroom for a really long time. And so a company sent us a couch and they were like, hey, if you get 30 sales, we'll send you a second one. And we have like 10 sales already. So I'm going to end up with too many couches, but because of how expensive their product was, when people bought it, which I didn't think they were going to buy a $600 couch, I was really surprised. It wasn't a niche I was like searching for, but it turned out the one specific video I made, my husband like opening it, I had all the kids come pile on, and turns out a large family on a couch was like super eye-catching, and that made it go viral. And that's the video that's gotten all the sales because people were like, hey, that looks big and comfy and cozy, and if 57 people can fit on it. So that is an option over here. So you have TikTok Shop. So the way that works is you sign up for the program. I don't know if you have to have a certain number of followers to start with it. Somebody let me know if you know. Not to auto post Instagram to Facebook, but to yes, if sorry, I'm reading Cynthia's post about some have said not to auto post to Instagram to Facebook. I would agree if you're intentionally building and that is your goal. If you are just trying to make sure that your content is continuing to be shared, I wouldn't worry about it. I've not seen that dramatic of a difference in post here and then also post over here. Also, I think mine are auto linked and I keep accidentally double posting from Instagram to Facebook, but no one seems to care. So yeah, Carissa, you got to look them up. The Venturing Vipermans. Yes. Okay. Sorry, I'm behind. 5,000 followers, do you think, Amy? Okay. Yes, the couch in my video today, yes, I turned them, it's a sectional, I like turned it face to face, and so wait. Yes. Yeah, so my baby's, I was trying to remember which video we were talking about. Yes, the face to face, and I put the cushions on the corner, and the babies just roll around. It's really heavy. It's a really heavy couch. I was really surprised. But yeah, check it out. Use my link. But the thing with TikTok Shop, there are people who are literally making like hundreds of $1,000s a month because they will pick. This was my advice for TikTok Shop. If you're going to do TikTok Shop, pick an evergreen product. There are a lot of companies who will send you like mom t-shirts. This isn't a TikTok shirt. It just is a mom shirt. They'll send you like very niche things that are trendy and popular, those kinds of things. But they don't convert well because this economy is terrible and people kind of are starting to realize they should stop spending money on TikTok items, right? So it needs to be something evergreen that people are going to want any time of year. And that it's not going to like go out of style or out of trend or something. So vacuum cleaners or like kids remote control cars. I saw this whole thing on this woman who did a kids remote control car. She sat in her driveway for 6 hours straight, just playing with this remote control car with the thing live. And she made, Carissa, you're nodding. Do you know the numbers? It was hundreds and hundreds of dollars on sales.
500,000.
500,000, my husband says.
In a
100,000.
month, right?
Yeah, it was crazy. I think her top sale, I don't remember the numbers. It was silly though. Nothing, I'm not committed to sitting in my driveway that long, but
So what exactly did she do? She literally just drove the car for 6 hours live?
Yep, that's what she did. Can you go tell Dad, please? Go tell Dad. Yeah, so when you're doing a TikTok Shop live, the link is live on your screen, so you should keep directing to it or people don't really notice it's there. But if you're using the product, so with the couch, I went live for the couch, but nobody watched my live, so I didn't get any sales from the live. But companies are now paying you to go live for an hour or something like that. And she went live for 6 hours and made a ton of money. But her product did well because it's an evergreen product. People are having birthdays all year long. People, Christmas and holidays and all kinds. You could probably put it in a Easter basket. You know what I mean? It's a product that could be used all year long. Same as vacuum cleaners and things like that. And companies, that's one I would pick because vacuums are really trendy on TikTok. I don't know. So you might do some research about that if you're interested in any kind of TikTok Shop collaborations. The way theirs works, the woman who
was that her, did she pick something that's even within her TikTok brand, or did she just pick something?
It's mom stuff. I think she just does, we went and looked her up. I think she just does mom stuff and she has kids. I think she is up to 3 or 500,000 followers. I can't remember. But she wasn't when she started. That's how she decided to monetize and that's what she focused on. That's another really important thing to remember is there's a lot of opportunities to monetize, a lot of different programs, and you can't be all in on all of them. You're going to wear yourself out. So really picking the ones that make the most sense and fit your niche and fill your heart. And I mean that seriously, because you'll get burned out. So when you're picking products, make sure, just because sometimes I will say, like our playroom, I needed to get a new couch. And so that collaboration made sense because I actually needed a couch. Otherwise I probably wouldn't have been trying to connect with companies over couches because I don't have anywhere else to put them. I'm out of space for couches. But so picking things that make sense for you, make sense for your audience, and are evergreen are the things that you want to focus on, especially for gifted collaborations, but just in general. I have gone very far away from my notes. So I made it through starting price examples. Let me check the chat, make sure I didn't miss anything. Y'all just holler at me if you have any thoughts that I missed, anything I missed in the chat. We talked about cold outreach, Instagram DMs. Okay, so I talked about not being worried about bothering brands. If Chelsea was around, she would be able to retell you the story. She has done so many amazing things just by bugging the heck out of people and going live in stories and just posting about them. There's a brand I really want to work with right now, and just out of like love and honor for them, they are called Brave Books. And so I've been reading my kids the Brave books every night, and we have the full first and second saga set of them. So I was thinking it would be a great idea to just go live, or just like post a picture of it in my stories or something like that to hype up this brand, because we have a meeting next week about a brand collaboration. So yeah, so it is hard because it's like I'm wanting you to pay me to create content, so I'm going to do it for free until you pay me. Like I know there is a line you kind of got to walk there, and again, it's your time and your intention to these things. But if it's a brand you really want to work with, like Pamela, I feel like Pamela would do great in all spaces like Costco or Aldi or any of those kinds of things. And those brands are so big and so popular. They get hundreds and hundreds of DMs a day, right? And so that would be one way to go after one of those bigger brands, is to just bug them. You know what I mean? Like every time you're posting about it, which I know you do, you tag, but posting about it, DMing them directly, love this, love that, everything that they post, you blow it up, just like, love this is so great. I mentioned it before, 5 words or more is always better in comments, because a lot of the a lot of people just do like a heart emoji or something like that, and the algorithm is learning that isn't true engagement, and it's kind of ignoring those things. So that's my advice for reaching out to brands, if there's one that you really want to reach out to. And it is there's almost like a power stance that you have when you start talking to a brand, where no one wants to say numbers first, and brands are almost always going to offer you affiliate first. And if you'll take affiliate, they're done talking to you because they got what they wanted, right? You're going to promote them for free, and if you do enough work for it, you'll get commission off it. That's best for them. They don't care to give you your percentage of work that you earned for, right? But we want to go beyond that. And so when a brand offers you affiliate, you need to be prepared with a polite, like, thank you so much for this, I appreciate it, I'll keep the affiliate in mind. Then you can either just say, I'm not taking affiliate collaborations right now, or you can say, I would love to meet with, and there's a bunch of different names for them. So influencer marketing manager, your social media manager, your brand partnerships coordinator, your affiliate marketing lead, or community manager. And I can send you guys a list of those, or you can just look them up yourself of like, I want to find the right person to reach for brand marketing, and I'm an influencer. Who do I talk to? And then it'll give you a list of titles that you're looking for, because every company kind of calls them different things. Then you can literally go to the brand's marketing person's personal page, their Instagram, and you can DM them directly. And all of this probably sounds really creepy if we've already talked about like stalkers and stuff like that, but they understand the intent. They know why you're pursuing them, and they will either tell you, so sorry, get lost, or they'll take you seriously because you put in that much work to get in front of them, if that makes sense. So when the power struggle happens and they're kind of going like, no, you tell me a number, and you're like, well, what's your budget? And they're like, well, how much do you charge? And you're like, it's negotiable, let me know what you think. Like, it can get to this kind of back and forth point where somebody has to say something. And so my advice on that, when you're picking your numbers, is to intend to negotiate down. There are times we have offered a number where we were trying to be fair, and the company snatched it right up, and we knew immediately that we had completely undercut ourselves. There's no way they would accept it at that fast if it was anywhere close to their top budget. And so you just kind of live and you learn on those things. And let's see, I skipped down to make sure I knew names of marketers and affiliate links. You would love the list of names of like titles? Let me see if I can copy and paste it to you. Okay. I forgot. Oh, does anybody have any any very specific interest in affiliate work. I know a lot of you guys are picking up affiliate work here and there, and just kind of use it. Is anybody wanting to pursue it? Okay. So with affiliate work, that's what you've done mostly in years past. Yes. Okay. Another good and important thing, anybody you've done affiliate work with, make sure you're writing down their name as a company you have done brand collaborations with, even if it's, yeah, I haven't had a lot of work with affiliate either. And one of the risks you kind of get into there if you don't have a small and loyal following is that people will just, yes, you can include your multi-level marketing companies you've worked with. Yes. Is people will see your post and go, huh, that's interesting. And then later they'll think about it and go, hey, let me go look this up, or let me go search this or whatever. That's one of the benefits of having a discount code or something like that, is that the hope is they'll use it right then with your link and but with affiliate, if they aren't using your link, then you don't get the commission for it. They got the brand awareness and you didn't get any earnings from it. Who is the company that you worked with? Carissa.
You asking me? Okay. I did Young Living for 7 years.
Okay,
That's
I was wondering if I heard of them. No,
and
yeah.
Amari too.
Who was the other one?
Amari, which I'm not, I have an account with Young Living. That's who I built my full-time income with. And then a couple of years ago, signed up with Amari, and they are network marketing if you want to pursue that side, but they also have just like straight across affiliate influencer like programs that you can do. And I am still with them. So I didn't know if I could include that in my portfolio or if they're not looking for that type of thing.
They're not, to be honest, I have never met with a brand who actually went and vetted all of my brand collaborations and what companies they were. And they're probably looking for the highlight ones. Like if they skim it, do they recognize anybody? They're probably looking to see how big the list is. Like, have you done 2 collaborations or have you done 7, 10 or something like that, right? They're not, in my experience, actually going and talking to those brands and asking, hey, how was your collaboration with this? They might go to your page, and if they're truly vetting you, they might go to your page and see how that brand collaboration converted. But I've actually the only time I've had brands interested in that, they blatantly ask me, hey, will you send over the analytics on this, that, or the other? And Ashley, 16-year-old wants to be an influencer. Where do I start with her? Yeah, I would definitely manage her completely. I would not leave her on her own for that, because she will get taken advantage of. Yes, have her focus on posting, you manage the rest. Yes, you can create the content. You can help her create the content if she has the ideas, right? And you can help her share, you can help her navigate comments and negotiations. All of that is kind of a lot for a 16-year-old. My 15-year-old is super helpful in a lot of things we do, and he does like gaming YouTube, but he doesn't. I'm pretty protective of our kids on the internet with how harsh people can be. So, but TikTok Shop might be a good place to start with that if she's got some time in a driveway or something. How would you pitch that if you've built to a certain level over a period of years? I would just say that. I would say we took this time. We took this time and we poured into this, really refined it. If you're like, it probably took us too many years and you wanted to make it sound good, you can say like, we were very meticulous over a number of such and such years, really refining our brand and our audience and our niche, and something like that. Or I have practiced doing go through ChatGPT and ask like, hey, what would be the roles of a person in such and such, whichever part of your like multi-level marketing or something like that you did, and have it list out the tasks for you. And then you can turn around and say, I have experience in cold DMs. I have experience in hosting events. I have an experience in speaking. I have experience in, right? I can't think of the things, but you want to itemize your experience so that you can package it and represent it as something that they want, because they want to use you. Can you explain how that works? Are you talking about using your experience? Yeah, yes, definitely. So Pamela, I'm not totally sure. Let me know what I can explain clearer. But so when you're talking about if I'm putting together, did I send you guys my, I can't remember if I sent you guys my I haven't updated it in a while. We keep calling it a pitch deck, but at this point it's all over the place. But it's like a Canva design that has all of my information. Let me see if I can pull it up quick for you guys. Media kit is the word I'm looking for. And since Pamela is a white glove client, I'm actually, one of the things I want to do with you is to put together a media kit for you that you have, that can be refined to exactly what you see as a benefit in your audience, what you see as a benefit to any of these companies that we might be able to reach out to. And so I of course can't find it quickly. This is my husband's forte. He's good at this stuff. Wait, I found it. Okay. So media kit, and my example, can I get it from my phone quickly? In my example, we just have a beautiful cover photo and then just kind of a like general information about who we are. Seller's dozen, family of 14, mother of 12. I focus on motherhood, homeschooling, large family living, and any of those things that you do. You want to take any of your, if you're like, I'm a nano influencer, I don't have experience doing anything, I can't, what can I even present? I literally want you to itemize what you do. So if you manage your home, right? If you are the stay-at-home mom, you manage your home, I want you to literally spend time with ChatGPT and be like, I want to itemize this as a job description and what I do. What can I highlight as my expertise? I'm a good communicator. I'm a good manager because I'm a stay-at-home mom. I'm good at multitasking. I'm good at, right? You like list all these things out and then you pick out the ones that are good for brands collaboration specifically, which ones you can highlight. I'm talking about somebody who just doesn't get to, like Pamela, you have an audience you get to lean into. You get to lean into your numbers and your analytics. Same with Leanne. But if you're a nano influencer and you're just starting out and you don't have, someone's just like, why would I hire? Let me know. Why would I hire you? Right? These are the kind of things that we can push into. And I'm also really intentional on my first like intro page. Mine says, our mission is to create meaningful connections with families while partnering with brands that align with our Christ-centered values. That's important because there are brands who are going to go, you know what? No, thanks. And that's fine. But if they don't know that that's where I'm going to take it with our content or with our audience, then I don't want them to like be surprised if I'm in the comments like, God gets all the glory for blah, 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 or, I don't know. And then the next page, I give audience insights. These numbers aren't necessarily meaning much anymore. And that's why I know nano influencers can do brand work, because they're more concerned with conversion rates. So I give them our numbers, which are really behind now that I'm looking at them. We need to fix that. But then our demographics, primarily women. We're like 75% women at this point. You guys all know how to check your analytics. Let me know if you don't know that. That's important. And I have, if I'm focusing on one platform, you can just take screenshots and save them, trim them so they look nice and neat, put them together in a Google Drive folder or something like that. And that's all they really need. If you're sharing analytics, if you're trying to talk about different sales experience, influence, leadership, yes, sorry, I jumped into the chat. If you are sharing multi-platforms on mine, I have an average for mine, and you can do an average, you can do, you can say like my best numbers are this, and this, or my best platform does this, that, and the other. So I will give you guys this one so you have a template. You can just build yours off of this. And don't worry if you feel like your numbers, obviously, y'all know that I was focusing on hyper virality, and that's not your focus. So next page is service and deliverables. So you can, again, you can look up what kind of services can you offer a brand in as far as collaborations go. So short form videos like Reels, TikToks, and YouTube Shorts. Long form videos, if you're a YouTube content creator, you can do very specific posts for like a full blown YouTube video, or you can do drop-in ads where you're like, this video is sponsored by, and you talk about it. We've done both. I love the drop-in ads. Creating a whole piece of content on one brand it's fun too, especially I think our first one we did that with was the trampolines. We had a company send us two trampolines because they asked if I'd make content on one, and I was like, do you know how many kids I have? And so that was super fun because it was an experience. So that made for long form content. You can also share long form content on your short form pages like Facebook and Instagram and TikTok. They don't necessarily do as good in my experience, but it is more like brand awareness if you're looking at making an offer or representing yourself as cross-platform dynamic. Do you all think, I'm talking about your YouTube channel, do you all think this is something people are even interested in? Yes, absolutely. I couldn't find any other YouTube channels about it. Yeah, of course, that's the space you want to be in. If you can't find good content about it, then start it, do it yourself. Absolutely. And so, yeah, so you have the opportunity to talk about all things. Also, congratulations on continuing to grow your family. I know I'm excited for you. That's awesome. I know that's a spot to be in, so that's awesome. So all things you're talking about family, you're talking about, I mean, there's so many brand opportunities. You have to just get kind of creative and not get hung up on like which, I don't know. I don't know. I would have to sit and like ChatGPT it and say, I want to think outside of the box on brands that I can work with, or genres of products. Maybe that's a better word rather than brand. You might ask like, I want alternative products that would align with my journey in talking about this and doing this and working with this, right? And then with those products or those packages or those services is another one. Look up what kind of services align with such and such. So like large family, we use Samaritan Ministries as our healthcare coverage, right? And so it's a big deal to talk about I have 12 kids and I don't use insurance. No, but okay, what do we do? And so that gives us the opportunity to talk about that. Also, if anybody isn't using Samaritan Ministries that's interested, they do pick up brand partnerships and they do use influencers to share their content. So that's another way you can go about it. You can go through, if you're looking for ideas of who to reach out to, you can go through social media and just search brands in your specific niche, or search your niche plus company or something like that, and see what kind of things popped up. Yes, they're amazing. It's called Samaritan Ministries International, and it's a healthcare sharing. So we, as a group of God-fearing Christians, I send a check every month to a person on our that is a Samaritan ministry member, and I get to share a part of their bill. I get to pay a part of it, and then whenever I have healthcare needs, other people send me checks to cover my my bill, and we just cover each other's bills, and it's awesome. Yes, absolutely. I would absolutely check them, especially if you have any alternative job position, like for people like us who aren't doing this, like, I'll send you guys a link. If you are not, when we switched, my husband did mining for a decade, and we had phenomenal coverage for mining. So, it was really expensive. Chris is reminding me, it was really expensive. But when we switched out of those traditional roles, and now we're doing social media, like, I don't have insurance for that. And so Samaritan Ministries covered us. Where would I have a link for that? Okay. Y'all hit me with questions while I'm searching for stuff. Anybody? Okay, I found it. Okay, this is our link to Samaritan Ministries. Tell you more about it. You can look into it, and then keep them in mind as brand collaboration, because obviously, like with the venturing vibrants, you guys are if you're traveling or any of that kind of stuff, those are obviously people will wonder, like, how do you meet your healthcare needs if you're traveling on the road, and those kind of things. And Samantha, that might be something for you guys as well when it comes to the costs of healthcare. I don't know. That's a really good question. How it compares to media share. I would talk to them. They're so friendly to talk to, and super kind, and they just want to help. So they're not going to be like, "Oh, you want to compare right now?" They're awesome. And my favorite part is they always end calls with prayer.
Are they friendly to sorry.
Go ahead.
Are they friendly to alternative stuff like chiropractic and things like that?
As far as I know, yes. And they will, but they can tell you way more about it, because we
Gotcha.
fortunately are incredibly healthy and haven't
We are
used
too.
it much. So
Yeah.
did a lot of comparing with Samaritan Ministries. Yes, that I agree. I think it's the best, but I didn't explore all the options. So
I have a question about social media.
yeah.
What do you think? How do you balance trends with authenticity and just creating compelling social media content?
Sure. I mean, I think there definitely does have to be a balance to it, because if you are trying to jump on every single trend, you're trying to force it to fit your niche, then it's going to kind of, so I don't know. Some creators are intentional, and they do it for every single trend. They'll find a way to twist it into their niche in some capacity. I think my go-to that has done really well for our content has been to use trends that make sense for our niche, that are fun and entertaining, lighthearted. And if I can see a really clear connection between my brand and this trend, then I will make that piece of content, and I just kind of drop it in with the other things that we do, our day-to-day life stuff or our travel content or those kind of things, if that makes sense. I love when companies, it's one of my favorite things, when companies will be willing to do trends. Like, I love watching actual corporations like find a way to use trends in their content creation. I feel like they get the best engagement and traffic. They get the most shares. I think it's super fun. And we would love to do it with you too, Jody. There's a lot of, like, there's one right now where people are going like, "Hi, I'm Amanda, and then someone cuts them off, and they're like, "Hey, I'm John, and I booked all the flights and planned this trip. And then I'm like, hey, I'm Amanda. And then it cuts them off and they're like, I'm John and I booked the car and I packed the bags and that kind of thing. And so Chelsea was going to do it with us with like our team and be like, hi, I'm Chelsea. And then like Alexia jumps in and she's like, hi, I'm the virality expert and I blah, 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 and we just keep cutting Chelsea off.
Cute. Yeah, cute.
So yeah, so there's ways to make those fit. If you're like forcing it, I feel like it can, I don't know. If it flops, you'll know if it's cringy or not, but um uh what do you think about it, Jody? What do you think about it in your space and how you guys create content?
I feel like I'm obviously I've been on social media for a while, but I haven't really put a huge focus. I mean, I'm excited to have this new world really open up for us, but I think for us, I totally agree with you. Trends that make sense with our brand is great. Trends that kind of give you a peek inside our company or organization or a mindset that you wouldn't have maybe on just a more straightforward post or something that's not,
Yes.
like that's funny. Like you're going to see a lot more personality. And I think that's important. And, with this whole trust recession that is really happening in social media, I think there is that balance of vulnerability, authenticity, and then, these kind of fun things too, that if they're done well or done cute, I think they add to trust, building trust, because you're able to see a more playful side or a different side. So yeah, and I agree with you though. I do think it's somewhat brand specific, right? Some brands are going to feel better
Mhm.
with things than others, but I think seeing a little bit behind the corporate veil is really cute.
I totally agree.
Yeah, thank you, Amanda.
So, you guys know it's a salt company and they do real salt and it's American made and it is Redmond's real salt. So all the bread makers use Redmond's real salt. Anyway, their marketing team's hilarious. They hit all of the trends and it's all salt related. It's really funny if you're bored, just look up Redmond. But those are some of my favorite companies to work with. Our first spring collaboration with Samaritan Ministries, so they picked us up for the sellers dozen, they picked us up for a word. What is the word? The word for when you collaborate for more than partnership. Lordy. So sorry. They picked us up for a partnership. And so for the first one, I'm like, I gotta take it serious. It's gotta be like intentional and emotional and it's like this kind of stuff, and we like geared it, and I was like, I really 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 want to represent the things I deeply love about this company. And so like I'm like doing my homework and I'm like, how can we do it as a family, and blah blah blah. We put this whole thing together and it came out really good and it was emotional and it was precious. Also, behind the scenes I cried the whole time because we were tapped into a specific family whose daughter was sick and it was horrible and I was crying, but the content was genuine because it was real. We were actually writing a check to a family, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. And so it was fun to make. It was great. And they approved it and they loved it and it was great. And then another content creator for Samaritan Ministries did this trend where this woman is like, I see the trend a lot for like, if you're over 40 and you're blah, 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 I don't know what you're trying to do, but it includes this really funny, goofy audio that's like, you're falling down and you're tripping and you're like passing out and then you're farting. And she used it as her audio for her seeing her like bill from the hospital, and she like and collapses and there's like all the flatulence and it's the whole thing. And then they go into Samaritan Ministries and like how she doesn't need to be panicked because they have Samaritan Ministries. And she's like, oh, right. It's like, oh, good. Everything's fine. And I was like, okay, so this company is willing to get silly. Like they're willing to do the funny, the trendy, and the like, so I don't have to be too serious. Like, which is so fun because it opens up a whole new door of like, family content and fun things you get to do. So all of that to say, don't feel like you have to make a commercial when you're doing brand work, because they have marketing people, they have AI, they can make commercials. They want your authenticity, they want your relationship with your audience. So if this isn't content you would typically make, and it probably won't resonate with your audience, and it's probably not going to have very good conversion, it's probably not going to get very many views, and they're going to feel like it was a flop and you're going to feel bummed. Speaking from experience. But if you're creating fun and engaging content that you already love, and you always have time to have these conversations before you push a piece, right? You can say like, hey, where are you on using this trend to do this and that and the other? I think the next piece of content I wanted to do for them was the like mom life trend where like you're like walking through the house, or mama boys, and you're like walking through the house and like Nerf bullets are flying and you're like throwing a cushion and a child's like falling off a chair, you know what I mean? Like just chaos, and then just like fun, gentle chaos, and then just being like, life's crazy, but thank God I know that I have Samaritan Ministries and I don't have to stress about these things. Anyway, so that was just the idea of it, but it's like it opens up so much more doors for fun content. You don't have to be like corporate and commercially and that kind of stuff. Those are the kind of alignments you want, which brings me all back around. I kept you guys 20 minutes over. Brings me all back around to my finishing points that are so important to me to communicate, which is that you are not just chasing money with brand work. Brand work is an opportunity for monetization. It is great for stay-at-home moms because you can do it from home, and it is so relatable with audiences because many of us are families or moms or parents, right? You are chasing alignment. You really want to pursue partnerships. You have the opportunity to push into one-off collaborations and even if it's affiliate work or something like that to get your experience under your belt. But ultimately with brand work, the real money and the real connection is in partnerships. And those are, you're going, okay, I would love to explore a partnership with you. What would you like to start off with? And so like Samaritan Ministries, we start off with a short-term partnership, and the hope and prayers that they pick us up for the full year starting next month. And those give you, that's where you're going to have more job security. And you're going to have more, like, I know what I can expect income wise from this brand for the next 6 months or something like that. You also get a chance to kind of feel it out and feel if it's a good partnership or not, and whether you get to be creative and fun, or if they want really like strict and rigid. Like some companies will send me a script and they're like, say this. And I'm like, okay, are you hiring me for my voice and my audience and my creativity, or are you just wanting me to say your thing? So you fill those out, which ones if you fully agree with it, then by all means use our script. But you want to look for brands that reflect with your home, family values, and lifestyles. God brings the right opportunities if you stay faithful. If you don't go chasing every dollar sign, if you don't connect and collaborate with brands that are not in alignment with yourself and your interests because they just offered you money. My advice on that is if a brand comes to you, or you go there are a couple different like brand outreach platforms. I can't think of any off the top of my head, but I'm making a note to send that to you guys in the group later. Platforms. So when you're using those, you sometimes will get connected to brands you maybe not intentionally were getting connected with, maybe don't match your values. One of the ones we ended up with was all fine and good on the surface, looked great. And then after like getting connected with them, I did a deep dive on their web page, and they had this whole segment that focused on like adult content and like not family friendly content. And I wasn't aware of that when we started. And so that was like you would have to go into their website, go down through their listing, find their different tidbits and find it, which I was doing because I was doing a deep dive, but it wasn't in alignment with my brand. And so we priced them out. We were just like, hey, this is the price I'd be comfortable with promoting any of your products. And it was like, I wasn't even promoting their whole website. I was just promoting one of their products. This is the price. It's way up here. And if they aren't willing to pay that, then the alignment, they're the ones who drop the alignment. That makes sense. And if not, you just say, hey, I'm so sorry, I'm not open for collaborations right now, or something like that. If you feel like you get into it and it's not going to be a good alignment. You also, I think I already mentioned, you want to be really careful about aligning yourself with companies who are going to be incredibly nitpicky. Specific to brand work and content creation, you're already spending a ton of time, and you the best way to handle it is just to set parameters of like, this, we'll do 2 revisions on this piece of content. Does that make sense? And if you've set parameters, then you can say, all right, I'm happy to make these fixes, but keep in mind, this is revision number 2, and this will be our final product when this is done, that kind of thing. So I was all over the place. I hope that all added value and hopefully encouraged you to get out there and start DMing some brands and yeah, just cold DM them. Just say, here, this is who I am. This is what my audience is around for. I think they would love this, and I would love to share it with them. Be authentic, because they get those robot-y DMs all day long. You can share a picture of you using their product or their services if you do use them. Those are all very personal things that help make little personal touches on these conversations. Don't be afraid to follow up and bug them. If you see that they read your message them again. If they send you the typical, hey, let's do an affiliate, you can say, I don't have space for that right now, but I'd love to explore a paid collaboration. Who do I talk to? That's a really good one. My husband does that, or something similar to that. And they'll like send the actual email of the person who is the marketing connections. And so, yes, who do I talk to is a great conversation continuer, because probably whoever's handling their social media isn't necessarily the person who organizes influencers. Do I have any questions before I let you guys go?
It's really good, Amanda.
I'm so glad, Jody. I feel on the spot with Jody because she's one of our White Club clients.
I'm excited. I'm excited to learn, and I'm glad that I have your support, as we walk this out.
Yes. We actually have, speaking of White Glove clients, we actually have 1 slot left for White Glove clients. I know a lot of you guys were asking about it. So if you have any more interest in it, this month we have 1 spot left, and we have been doing such incredible and awesome things. It's been such a blessing to get to be a part of the projects you guys are working on and the companies that you guys are building. And so if you have any interest in it, make sure you DM us, email Chelsea. We have all of our chats open as well. What does it look like for a White Glove options after this month? I'll have to let you know. We're putting together a onboarding. We want to do in-person meetings. Honestly, those are better. So Christy, I'm so sorry. Would you follow up with me? I'm just really bad at remembering to come back up with these things. Will you DM me on Instagram, or Chelsea would be great also. And we can just get the conversation started, and I can let you know how those things are looking. And Carissa, you too, all of you, whoever's interested, hit me up. You can hit our group chat as well, whichever's easier. And we can talk about that. I think Alexia is actually working on putting together very clear tiers of opportunity, and we are building out other sections that hopefully we can help with. We're talking about brand work. Chris and I, my husband and I, are working on building out a brand management section of this, so we can jump in, pitch you guys, and talk to brands for you and negotiate for you. We would love to be helpful in that way, because brand work has been such a good part of what we do in helping our household. But it takes doing, takes some organizing and all of that. So Carissa, what's up?
Just real quick question on the White Gloves. You guys are doing everything. So would I still be, or whoever is looking at being a client in that way, are we still taking our own pictures and our own video footage, so it feels very still unique to our brand? It's not, I think that's been my biggest question, is it's not just AI generated content, everything, it would still be very specific to our life.
Yes, so you're bringing up the AI. We are practicing all things AI and all of the new technologies, because we know that is the direction that AI is going. It's going to take over the majority of this work that we're currently doing. So we are practicing it, but it is not all we do. We're actually doing everything hands-on right now, and it is so helpful to have, we need to have your very genuine and authentic photos and reels and your touch on things. I was telling Pamela just this last week or earlier, it was, what is today, Tuesday? We met yesterday. I was just telling her just how beautiful and aesthetic her content is. And like, because mine is quite chaotic compared to hers, like I can't match hers. Hers is so aesthetic and beautiful. So I love being able to pull from the things that she already has, and we're repurposing and we're using content she already has, because she has such a very specific corner of the internet that she has created, and it's beautiful. So yeah, staying authentic to your brand is so important. So super important, because you built the audience that wants you, right? They don't want AI. And I know that yet, until they do. And then everyone will want AI. So we're working on that also. So yeah, you guys hit me with all the white glove questions. And Chelsea and Alexia and Samuel will be around to help answer those questions and see where you guys fit and what we can do to help you guys. Because we're excited to help you do all the big things. Anything else? Any other questions? Okay. I'm gonna let you guys go. I love you all. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. Blessings of your homes and your families this week, and we will see you on Thursday. Bye, guys.